we got a broken leg here of this wonderful chair. This lovely couple that were one of our customers. And yeah, this is been attempted repair. We do have quite a few nails and screws and all that kind of stuff that they tried to repair it. And yeah, they simply need our help fixing this. And this is kind of typical. A lot of people have this type of repair. This happens fairly often, especially on the accidental fall or whatnot. And yeah, as you can see, we have the missing piece right here. And yeah, we have to make it brand new again so that these dowels will go into those slots without breaking apart again. You got to keep in mind that we got threads here. So yeah, we're going to undo what they've done for repairs, and then we're going to fix the repair, and then we're going to be able to put everything back together so that it's structurally strong and it will hold forever. Unless something else definitely happens. But the glue that we're going to use is Titebond 3. And if I needed to use any other, like in liquid epoxy or a putty epoxy, then we will definitely show you step by step for that as we go through it. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, so we're just going to put this on its back. So you're going to be able to see the joint. Okay, so for the first part, I'll put the leg aside here, and I'm just going to concentrate on getting all these screws backed out and such. And we're going to make this, or more or less, as soon as we take all this out and take out the 2 screws, this should come off. And that's the piece we need to repair this. And then before we, of course, repair it, we're going to take out all these as well. So this is going to be nice and challenging, and it's going to be fun. But yeah, it's obviously been tried to repair before. And we're going to just go through the steps and take it all apart and get it re-glued back together, and finally reinstall the hardware as well. So, okay, so here we go. My preference, I just use my back drill there. And you can also use the torque drill as well. So it doesn't really matter which one I do, the impact or with the regular torque drill. In my own preference, I usually go for this guy. It's quick. I can change my heads on pretty quick, on and off. So I'm just going to, now as you can see here, I'm actually going to flip it over like this. So well, I can go like this, and then you can probably see it. Okay, so we're going to take out these 2. And yeah, you can use a crescent wrench. You can use a crescent wrench, or it's made for Phillips. It looks like it's been stripped already on the Phillips, right? So maybe I will grab my my crescent wrench and just quickly take those off. All right, so as my dad called it, it's my Saskatchewan socket set. So I just, okay, so you go, there we go. Okay, you know, like this, you can see better. Okay. I'm just holding the metal hardware here, and I'm just unscrewing it. Okay, so that's popped out. I'm just going to screw it right back where it was. Okay, put that one aside. Do the same with the other. Okay, I still have to use my crescent wrench for this one. And I just loosened it. Same thing, just undo it. Oh, got a little stuck here. Okay, let's see what. Just work it through if it gets a little sticky. Okay, just ease it. gonna be able to pop that back out. Ooh, it came right out. Okay, so this fell out in several pieces. So we're just going to put this, I'm going to set this aside. Okay, so this happened. Okay, so when it comes to this, just screw it back in here. I'm just going to take a look and see these threads here. It looks like it's from previous adhesives. Okay, why it's sticking. Okay, so instead of doing that, I'm just going to go in my toolbox. Okay, so actually this is the out. Everything's out of here now, so we're just going to put this chair and set it aside. Nothing is broken on this end. Go in my main toolbox. I'm just going to grab my adjustable pliers here. And I don't want to wreck the threads at all. Okay, so that's important. So I'm just going to use mild pressure. I'm just going to take that and bring it around. It comes right off. Now I'm hitting that part again. So I'm just going to gently just keep on backing it out. It will take off the glue off the metal as it's going through the threads. Okay, for the most part. Okay. Okay, so that's what was causing, yeah. So we'll clean that up. I'm going to take this, put it with the other one. Okay, because we're going to need it. Okay, so now I got two of these. And so I'm just going to grab my scratch awl. Okay. I just want to get rid of any glue that happens to be there. You want to free up those little grooves. Just take your time. That looks nice. Looks like we got untroubled area here. Yeah. Okay, so that did not too bad of a job. Okay. I'm just going to grab this. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but there's little segments here. And you find your length that you want to go to. That metal part of the blade of the knife, you're going to line it up with the seam of the break there. Put it on something solid. Put your hand like this, so just in case it bounces out, it's going to hit your hand, it's going to fall back. Okay, so you know where it is. Okay, nice new point on there. Just extend it out. Okay, so now obviously you got to be very careful. Okay, I'm just gonna use this to remake our grooves nice and clean. Okay, so some of this is adhesive, it's not metal. Okay, if it was metal to crush threads, it looks like there's a little bit of crushed thread here. I'm just going to try to ease those grooves back in. Okay. Try to get rid of any. Try to get rid of any leftover glue. Okay. So let's try to put this back on again. Okay. Okay, it goes on not too bad. I'm still using my hand power, so that's a good thing. All right. So when you clean it out for the majority part, the threads will actually, there you go, we're through on that just by hand power, so that's okay. That's what you want to achieve. Okay. Okay, so now we got that dealt with. Okay, now we're dealing with this and this. Okay, so simplicity is bliss. We're just going to remove the obvious. Okay, leave that there. Leave this screw out. Okay, so I think it goes like this. Okay, so that's its natural state. And the other half is like that. Okay, so just take it step by step, one thing at a time, and everything will come apart. Okay, so I'm just going to take out this drill, this screw here. Okay, I'm just going to move my other tools here. Keep yourself organized and all that, so it's pretty easy to work with. All this scrap here, that's no good. That's all just loose, chunky wood that won't be glued back in. And one thing about Titebond 3, it is somewhat of a gap-filling glue. If you have the small little pockets of missing wood, like we just tossed on the floor type of thing, and you have a little void, with the proper amount of glue, it will actually fill in that gap and it will seal it up. And if there's too much, that's when I use wood epoxy or liquid epoxy if necessary to rebuild what you need to have. Okay, so with this said, these are little screws. I'm just going to grab my little blade here. I'm just going to go in there. Oh, tighten up my. Keep the blade small. You want it nice and rigid. Okay, I'm going to take out all that glue and wood. Grab that scratch all again. Okay. Just like this, I'm just going to go into the hole, pluck out. Just don't pluck towards you. Alright, don't go towards yourself or towards your hand. Okay, that's very important. I suggest that all the time to people. Okay, so another thing, just remember while I got it on my head, glue doesn't stick to old glue. Okay, so all this old glue that they put here, we're going to have to either keep it, to maintain the shape of it, that's what it's supposed to be, or we're going to have to simply remove it and scrape it off, and anything else that's loose, like pieces of wood like that, we're going to get rid of. Okay, now from what I see, these are Allen key. Okay, these are Allen key screws. I don't know why they used it, but that's what they did. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my Allen key set here. And I'm just going to tackle this one first. See if I can find the right one. Okay, that's too big. And you got metric or imperial, you got to figure that one out too. Okay, so that one feels nice. Okay, so I'm just going to wiggle that. Okay, nice and slow. Ease it out of there. Okay. All right, so it is Allen key in this case. Most of the time it's Robertson or Phillips, you know, so it kind of depends on the method they use and where they're from. Obviously most Canadians use Robertson, Americans use Phillips, and yeah, it's an ongoing battle between the two. Okay, there's one. All right, let's see if I can get this one out. Oh, wow, that one's in there good. Okay, so this one needs a little bit more. Yeah, since I got it most of the way out, I can switch it around. I don't need so much torque pressure now. Now I just need to keep things aligned and straight, make it go smooth. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so that one out. So far that's 5 screws they had. We got 6 and then some nails here. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so we try to get, now this one here, it looks pretty deep and wood packed in there, so this may take a little bit of time. Be safe. Again, don't never go towards yourself. Now, of course, not all circumstances are going to be like what I'm dealing with now. Okay, but we haven't hit the important part yet. And right now, in your scenario, you might be pulling out a whole whack load of nails. I've had many repairs like that people just do a whole bunch of finishing nails in all different directions to try to stabilize everything and get everything all acting as one, and using Gorilla Glue. So okay, so here we are gonna try this again. Try to take that out. Okay, so it's rotating, that's good. Okay, let's get it going. All right, that's nice and easy. Okay, there we go. All right, there's another piece. Okay, so let's say just side of small little slivers fall out, so that's good. Now for something like this, I don't know how deep these go. Okay, this one may be a problem. And there's, I'm not sure if you can see deep inside, there's, this is old glue here, which I just broke off with the scratch all here. Okay, and I just want to see raw wood. It goes all the way down here. Okay, there's a whole lot of glue over here, down deep inside. And that part I'm not so worried about, just so long as I get full penetration of my screw here. Okay, after it goes through the meat material of that's in the chair and going into this, so that's why these need to get reinstalled into here. Okay, but yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's get these out here if all possible. For sure this one here, we'll see if we can or not. All right, so I'm just going to see if I can grab it to the edge of that tool, of the adjustable pliers there. And just got to keep in mind we don't want to wreck anything, so we go nice and slow. Okay, so that's not really coming out very well. And just got to think to myself, okay, so how am I going to get little leverage that I do have, and see if I can still pull it straight out with the tension of the wood surrounding it, clenching around it, because it probably wasn't pre-drilled. It was probably just forced hammered in there, and so where wood goes, it either creates tension and it surrounds it, so it pinches it. So it pinches it that way. So it's more difficult to pull it out because it's just like a fish hook. It goes easy one way, it's hard to get out the other way. So just gonna work on this. So what I'm probably going to work on, see if I can get it pried away a little bit. Okay. Now when I do that, this piece here wants to flex out. And it looks like it was previously broken here. So this whole piece here is actually loose. Okay, so I'd rather repair it with the break of this wood here. Okay, and I'm gonna try to break that off. Okay, because it's obviously not very strong if I can just do that. So let's just carefully pry it apart. See all that? That's all glue here. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that over here. Okay, now I can see more of this glue. Now I can see more of this nail. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, it's going into, how much meat did that? I don't know. So I'm just gonna blend this out a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna pinch it. I'm gonna see if I can pry it out. I'll pry out against the wood itself here. And I'll show you this way. Okay, clench onto that. And just kind of pull with it. Get a little bit and pull more. Okay, with it, pull a little bit more. There we go. Now we got it. There we go. Okay, so just nice and easy little tugs. Get some leverage, more leverage on it, and then tug more. Get a little bit more, tug more, which increases the pull pressure every time I get into that, and the easier it becomes to come out. Okay, so I got some definitely loose material there. So I'm just going to take my scratch awl and I'm just going to take that piece out. Okay, so the way I'm looking at this, now my wood epoxy becomes harder than the wood itself. Okay, so I think that's the avenue I'm going to go for. Instead of trying to replace all this, I'll probably keep this. Okay, I'll probably keep all that. I may even not even use this piece here. I'll just put it over here just so I know that I'm looking at. All right, so again, you definitely want to get rid of all your loose pieces of wood here. We're not quite done yet here, by the way. We still got this one to go through. And what it looks like, you can see there's a crack here, and it's broken at the top of here. So this piece I'm probably going to tear out as well. Okay, because I got to make that solid, make it work. In fact, look at that. Okay, so that part definitely need to keep. I'm going to clean all that glue up and then re-glue it and clamp it together so it's solid wood again. Okay, now I got this piece here to work on. Okay, so again, this is all solid wood here, so I'm just going to crank into that, flex it in, flex it out. Okay, there we go. Came right out. Okay, so now we're dealing with bare bones here. Okay, so I'm just going to take all that off. This is all done by old glue, and if I can do that with my finger, it wasn't a very strong glue, right? It's just peeling off there, and that to me is a fail in the sense of structural. Okay, so if we get a heavier set person and sits on that and they move the wrong way, it could very well give, especially on an angle pressure. If they twist it, rack the chair a little bit, it's gonna fall apart, especially when I've taken my fingers and pulling it off like that. Okay, so our job is to basically reconstruct this and give it its structural integrity back. So there's another chunk right here. Yeah, this just all comes off very easily. So I'm going to take that. These are to my two outside edges here. So keep yourself organized in your head. Okay, where they go. And again, you got to take all loose pieces off, and all the glue that they use, you got to have removed as well, so it's all raw wood. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to grab my chisel. Alright, so brought out a few tools. Now I got my rougher file and rasp set. Okay, one side's flat, the other side's kind of curvatured. And of course I got this is my butcher chisel. If you look really closely, it's not very good at all. Okay, because this is my thrashing one. I don't give a crap what I do to it. It's just basically my really chewed up chisel, one of my old sets that I had many years ago. And I just use that as like a cold chisel. I do have other cold chisels with me, but obviously we're not going to deal with that. And this little scraping tool here as well, just for help get into little nooks and tiny nooks and crannies. And then of course my better chisel. It needs sharpening, definitely. This is kind of an older set as well for doing all the repair stuff. It's not my good marbles or anything like that. Okay, so we're just going to get rid of the old glue first. Okay, just peel it across like that. Shave it off. Okay. And again, your process that you're working on your chair, as you're looking at this video, you know, you're going to have your own circumstances. Okay, you're going to need to clean more. You're going to have to clean. It hasn't been repaired before, so you don't have to remove any glue at all. Okay, so I'm just going to just rock it back and forth. Let the chisel do the work. You know, I'm hardly using any pressure at all. And again, I'm just going to take off all that little bit loose wood. Okay, just work your way around, and it will be quite obvious what's loose and what's not. I like using chisels because it's nice hard steel. I also have plain blades that I use sometimes that are just one. I got one that won't scratch finished material. Other ones it's much sharper. So like, yeah, there's different things I have in my toolbox over the years that I use to fix things. Yeah, depends on the scenario. Okay, I'm just gonna take off all this stuff here, because wood epoxy, what I'm going to be using on this, creates wood when wood's not there. So it's going to be able to house anything I want, and when it cures, you know, it's really super strong and really super solid too. Okay, so again, I'm just taking off all the old adhesive. Flat to the solid. And I'm just going to make it work this way around. Make sure you don't go like that. Just be careful. I usually go like this, so I have lots of torque behind my pressure, and a safety as well. Keeps me from getting stabbed. And if I do get stabbed, I'm not going to get stabbed that big. Okay, so it's not like that, right? Okay, so there's some excess of glue here. Okay. This one as well. You have to make sure that you control your hand-eye coordination there with what you're doing. Dexterity there. Okay. I'm just making that kind of flat. Okay. You feel it? Make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, so we're dealing with a structurally strong piece again. And what sometimes I do, we got a little, obviously some glue down there, and we want to make this nice and round. These want to fit these in nicely, right? So I'm just going to get rid of that excess glue there. Got 3/8 and 1/2 inch. I think it's a 3/8. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I think 3/8 will do fine. Definitely not a 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab my other drill. Let's put this over here. Make sure you're on drill. Okay, so on the first one, I'm just gonna, nothing obstructing there, so that's good. This one here. Now when I'm doing this, I'm kind of giving pressure down off to one side, off to the other side, push down. Maybe it's a little bit up as well. I want to keep it so that it's, see, it took out all the old glue there that was in there. Okay, so we now, it's more of a wood to wood again. Well, we got wood to metal, and yeah, we'll just let these going in. It should work out. It should work out just fine. Okay, so we're just put these aside. Okay, so now if you remember correctly, we got some other pieces here we got to clean up, because that goes into there. Okay, so we want to try to utilize that. We also want to try to utilize this. Okay, so we're going to clean these two pieces up. Now when you're doing something more intricate like this, you know, you really got to be careful of what you're doing, because you are much closer to your fingers now. Okay, so you're just cleaning up, taking off all the old excess of glue, all the excessive glue, and see a little bit here. Okay, get rid of that one there. You got some glue in here. And just use the point of your chisel and just kind of peel up. Okay, just want to peel that up. Okay, that's good. That's what I wanted. Get rid of that, because that's old glue. Okay, so now you got no piece of wood that's not good there. Anything else like that, you just have to pull apart. Okay, and like they're going to be fitting into each other. The little jagged edges there. Okay, that's why you want to clean out all the old stuff, because they will get into the way. Okay, now let's do a dry fit here. Keep it flush. Okay, now that's in the position there. Now I'm just going to get my hammer here. See if I can show it like this. Okay, so when you're dry fitting, the objective is to get it go perfectly in place. Flush, which is there. It is there, and flush here. So if it can go flush and fit forward like that, you got a good joint. Okay, so when we use our Titebond 3, it's going to be very solid, and it will be like new again, minus the wood that has broken off. Okay, so let's get the other one done. Okay, so by the time we do all this, it's too trashed, right? It's pretty trashed. It's pretty much not sound anymore, not structurally sound. Okay, kind of wants to fit in, but it doesn't want to fit in. Okay, so
In all essence, what I think we're going to do, instead of trying to Mickey Mouse all this, we're going to reconstruct and redo all this wood here with wood epoxy. Okay, it's just too badly damaged, and so it's better for me to rebuild this chunk. With my wood epoxy, I'm going to drill some holes, okay, to use as anchors, and then I'm going to pack this whole thing and solidify it into a square to match all this, and then it will harden, and then I sculpt it and make sure it looks brand new again, and then I re-drill my holes. That simple. And my threads should cut into that without breaking it all apart, because it's super strong. Okay, so I think that's the best way I'm going to do it. It's the fastest way probably as well. Alright, so this all looks good and strong. Okay, as I mentioned, we're going to drill some holes now, because we got a lot of space here, and we want to make sure that it doesn't fall out, it doesn't at all become a jar loose. So the kind of like the bigger the hole, the better in that way, but we're going to keep it within reason, of course. So that was a 3/8 that we used there. And so I'm going to put maybe a 1/4 inch. Those are nice. That would be a good solid rod of epoxy, which holds quite well. And to give you an idea, this hard, and this, say if it was a dowel and I made that dowel of wood epoxy, for me to break that, it would take quite a bit of force just at this. And I'm going to have several of them, so it's going to be a lot of PSI of holding power. Okay, so I'm also going to drill on the slight angles, one going like this way, another one going this way, so it's all toenailing in. So when I apply this, it's going to not have a choice but to go to where it needs to be, and it'll be structurally strong as well. Now, when it comes to this, these holes and these threads, I can tell that it goes this way like this. Okay, you want these cut in, and they're only going to be at the front area. So this one actually goes out about here, that one. So it's going to be away, right? This one's going to be up like that, and this one's going to be up here like that. Okay. So we're looking at an outside diameter of 3/8. Okay, so it's 3/8 from the outside to the outside. Okay, that's the outside. The outside is 3/8. The threads are extra. Okay. Now here you don't have a lot of thread in there. This has been kind of more or less stripped. It's pretty flat. There's not a lot of kerfs for the grooves for the threads. Okay, so when it comes to something like this, we're going to need to, I think, just simply re-drill, and then when it's still wet, I got to place these in, and so they correspond with the holes that exist, so that they're aligned. Okay, alignment is going to be key when it comes to something like that. And to do that, we're going to actually put these in. Now, in this case, this is more or less kind of flat, but this curves in a little bit, smoother on the side. That's the back side. So you want to grab that, and we're going to it's gonna be a little sticky. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my crescent wrench again, open it up, we're redoing. Okay, so this would go all the way in. Okay. Okay, so that's as straight as the line as I think I'm going to be able to get it. Okay, and so I'm just doing dry fit right now. And we'll go do the same thing with the other one. Okay, so we'll grab the other one, same thing. We'll just put that through. Okay, so I got that one. Okay, I'm just going to match that just so that we're even. So I'm just making sure that those things are parallel and this is even as well. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in. I'm able to push it all the way back and all the way in, and it's going to be flush to that. Okay, so that's really important there. And now I know that that's even there and that this is even there. So they're again parallel. Use a natural. Okay. Natural will work fine. This is not seen, this is inside, so all this part you won't even know it's there. Okay, so let's drill those holes first, eh? Okay, so I'm gonna get it started here. And get it started, and I'm gonna angle it like this. Okay. Just to let you know, we're talking about an inch. Okay, and I put about an inch hole on it, so it doesn't go through there, but it's in quite deep. Okay, so I'm going to go do another one here. Okay, just to let you know, and a little bit more, eh? Okay. So now we're looking at another inch. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with this. It's almost there. Okay, so that's a good inch. Okay, put that in, we're about an inch there. So that's 4. I think that will be enough. That's for structural. I don't want to get too close to the edge. Okay, that's I want to make sure that those 4 is good enough holding power. What I actually might do is I'll grab a smaller one, use it like a pilot hole for my big one here, just so I can throw it in there. Now, you can use this as a depth gauge. Oops. Okay, we're going an inch in there, and we're the same there. Okay, so there's 6 of them. Okay, 6 anchors. Okay, so that's really important. That's going to give us definite hold. It's not going to be able to jump out. It's not going to be able to pop out. If there's extra strain on there, that's hundreds of pounds of holding pressure there. Okay, for the wood epoxy. And it's going to definitely hold whatever it needs to in the sense of stress. Okay, that's exactly what we need. As I said, sometimes you have to make it worse before it gets better. And as it cheaper? Is it cheaper than buying a new leg? And well, you can't reduplicate. They wanna keep the distress of it. They just want the repair done. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely you gotta just do it right, do it smart, and we gotta do it strong. Make sure it doesn't give way. Okay, get rid of that because that's here. Okay, just going to take that one out and pop out. So this one's already used. Okay, so you see that there's a little cut segment there, cut segment there. Okay, these actually pull off. Okay, that's how I keep it fresh, so it doesn't dry out on me. It's more or less my cap. Okay, oops. Can't get more Varsol. Okay, so this when I use a flat putty knife or something on, I'm trying to make something flat. It won't. That prevents it from sticking to my wood epoxy, because my wood epoxy in the metal will stick. Okay. Okay, so I'll probably use this side here. Nice. Okay, it's nice and wide. Covers everything. I'm going to be able to make things flat. Okay. Because it goes like this. Right? It's going to go on this side here. Fits right through. Okay. So I'm going to make sure. Okay, so that's going to be at least there. There's a little bit of play there. Okay. So I'll make sure that I do is grab this one and I'll unthread it till it matches that one. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, so that's pretty much good there. Okay, so that will allow me to make sure that when I tighten everything, it's past that point. I'm not going to run into any problems. Okay, and I'm just going to put that back on, just like that. It really helps conserve your steel epoxy or wood epoxy. And then I put it back into there. We're good. Okay, so then you take this and take off the plastic. Now this smells like dog crap. Okay, so what we're going to do, as I said, we're going to encase these. So let's take these out. Okay, we're going to take this one out too. This one sticks a little bit more, okay, because of the threads. Oh, geez, it's still tight. What you don't want to do is ruin the threads with your pliers, so you just got to be ginger and with your pressure. And again, you kind of get things to work for you, not against you. And usually it's just to get you past that certain point, then you're fine. Okay, keeping in mind this is the inside, so it goes down, so that's the outside. It goes like that. Okay, so we'll set that aside, and yeah, we're going to take this steel epoxy and we're going to squish it, knead it. So when you do that, you fold it into each other. Keep on folding it, just like you would dough when you're making a pie crust or something like that. Sorry for the analogy, it's just, I don't mind baking once in a while. So you just keep on folding it in. You want that black and the gray to mix in, blend in, become a solid looking putty. And if you feel any hard clumps in there, just keep on trying to work them in. Your goal is to try to make this into nice and smooth. I tried wearing gloves, by the way, with this stuff, but it just sticks too much to the gloves and it's just very difficult to work for. So after we're done this work, I scrape it off my fingers and then I just clean myself off, type of thing, with soap and water. Okay, so you need this for about 30-45 seconds. Okay, you have about approximately, with steel epoxy, you got approximately 3 to 4 minutes working time. Split it in half. We're going to work one half it. No, obviously don't get any inside that threads on the inside. Okay, so we're just going to wrap that around, squish that wood epoxy, steel epoxy I should say. Okay, it's going to want to stick to your fingers. Okay, so you gotta kind of work it. And you got 2 to do here, so time is important. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll my finger, thumb pressure, roll it in, and try to work it into the threads. Okay, just like that. Okay. Okay, so with that said, okay, I'm just going to put this one right here. Yeah, take it, make that flush. I'm just going to push down really hard. Okay, I wanted that. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? Silly me. Okay, fill that hole in. And fill that hole in. Now I'll put this on. Okay, so that's really in there tight. That looks nice and straight. Okay, so that's good. Quickly get this wrapped around there. Okay, because it's going to want to start to harden up here. Squish it around, squish it around, squish that around. Get it to, yeah, just get into those grooves. This one's not going to be so difficult because it's going to be encased in wood epoxy. Okay, this is not steel epoxy. So this one's not so bad. It's the other one that was more crucial. Okay. Okay, so we stuff some down the sides, we stuff some there. And we're good. Okay. We're looking really good. Okay. Got that one encased there. This one's a floater. Right now I can just go like that, and so wood epoxy is going to take over everything else. And we're going to encase this inside there. It's just that my wood epoxy is going to stick to this steel epoxy. So it's going to be formed in place whenever I set it, and it's going to be perfectly parallel. And to ensure that, I won't use the strip one, I'll use this one that works well. Okay, so I'm just going to screw that through. You should be able to see that go through. There you go. Okay, so nothing's wrong there. It can go all the way to the end. Okay, and we just don't want to dislodge that. I want to keep that in place. Now, usually I make a little bit more that I can actually have a little ball of excess, and it's my timer. Okay, so now I don't have that, but I can definitely feel it. Okay, so this looks really, really good. I actually like this a lot. Okay, so we're looking really good, and it's straight up and down. All right, and yeah, looks good. Looks really good. Okay, and so now we have to make the wood epoxy. Okay, so now we have to figure out how much wood epoxy we need to fill these holes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes, and plus all this volume of wood that we have to restructure, because we can't fill that hole just like this. You need an area for the screw to go through. Okay, so to begin with, dowel to go inside there, and so I don't have to really think. I can just keep on plowing into the putty and all that kind of stuff, and restructure it without filling that hole. That's really important. All right. Not really 3 inches. That might go better. All right, so I'm just going to use this to protect that area. Okay, so that it will be clear of anything, and then when I'm ready to pack it, I'll pull that out and I'll pack in this. Okay, so already it's hard. Okay, this is hard to the touch. I'm not going to be able to squeeze it anymore. It's starting to cure, so that's a good thing. Okay, so now we got to estimate the volume of wood epoxy that we need. Now, keeping in mind, we gotta go like this. Okay, and do it everything at once, or you plug your holes and leave a little bit out, and then we bond over it. We do more and we finish it off. Try. I'm gonna fill in just plus a little bit more and then rebuild after that, because wood epoxy sticks to wood epoxy, and it doesn't take me very long to make more. And I just think we should play it safe, especially with how much structural hold we need on this. It's very important. I'm just gonna take this out, the screw, so we can see what we're doing. So actually, you can tell it's pretty structural. I'm not even holding on to this. It's pretty hard in place. And that's exactly what you want to see. Okay. So again, I got 6 holes that I'm going to be filling and bring it up past the surface. And then we're going to encase everything, including this second one here, in its place. So I'm going to put that back in place like that, just to give you an idea. Okay, so I'm going to take that out for the moment. Again, you need it. Get that white to go in with the beige. Okay, fold it into itself. Again, right from this point on, we got about 4 minutes once you start kneading. Okay, until this stuff really starts to get hard and you won't be able to work with it anymore because it stiffens up too much. Like right now, it's a very soft putty. You don't want to stop too soon, otherwise you're not going to get the chemical mix and chemical bond that it needs to make to be structurally strong. Okay, so you work really fast to give yourself more time later on. Okay. And you should feel it like a nice little putty. If you see feel some hard wedges in there, you take them and pluck them out. Okay, that means they dried a little bit in this state. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take a little bit. Okay, each one of these are about 1 inch. So I'm just gonna push them into there. Get a little bit more. Okay, and push a bit more into there until, and now it's starting to fill in. Okay, I'm gonna get more. Feel like a little small worm there. Go in, fill it in. That was a good one. Okay. Plow it in. There we go. Okay, you got another one right here. Really smaller one, and goes into there. Squish that in. Take a little bit more. Now this stuff, as it starts to harden, the closer it gets, it also gets closer to it gets hot. It's going to start to get warm up and get hot to the touch. In some circumstances. Okay, so oops. Okay, so when we have to really be quick here. That's why I don't like to making too much of this stuff at once. Get it and pack it in there. Pack it in there. Okay, just pack it in. Okay, and get this here really nice and thin. Let it fall into there. And a little bit thinner. Okay. And yeah, right into there. There we go. Okay, so push that all the way in there. Okay. Push that in just like that. And into there as well. Okay, so starting to want to harden on me a little bit. It's getting there. I'm going to split this in half. I'm going to cover this pocket of area of wood. Okay, structurally, you just shape it, mold it. Okay, just on this bottom portion here. And I'm going to do that same thing with this side. Okay, so just bond it together. So now we got more or less a solidified part. Okay, I'm just going to shape that so that it goes right to the edge of that. Shape it in, I push it down so more flexes out this way, right? And I'm gonna kind of form it, push it into the steel epoxy area. Make sure that doesn't go at all onto the threads here. Okay, so that's really good and tough. Okay. Now, take a little bigger parcel. We're going to take this, take your finger, get it wet, so smear it around like that. And then you want to make sure that it's pressed down hard, and then you're going to push it flat. Do that same thing there, rub it around, push it flat like that. And then again, push it flat like that. Okay, now if you got anything in the threads, you have to pull it out like that. Okay, so we're gonna leave it like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my, indent that a little bit. Okay, so we got that all done. Now we're going to cut off another piece while that's hardening. Okay, now we're going to restructure this. So we need a little bit more of a chunk here. Okay, set that aside. Take off your plastic. Okay, and now what we're going to want to do, oops, now put that there. Put this through. Okay, so that okay, so with that fully like that. Okay, about there. Okay, so that I'm making sure that this is flush to the flushness of that. Okay, nice and important there. We want it to harden in the right position. Okay, so keeping in mind, we want it when I plug this, so I'm going to have this in its place so I can pack that area. But I'm going to bring out the putty till it hits about there, to that point. So that's about there. And if you want to, you even just take a piece of tape on that dowel. Okay, and you're going to put it approximately where that needs to be. So you just double check it. Okay, so I'll put my thumb right there. And it's like that. And let's just see how close I am. Okay, so I'm a little bit off. I have to put it in more. Put it in just like that. Okay, so now you know a line where you bring the wood epoxy to. Okay, here we go. So here we go. We're going to break this all apart. Yeah, need that. Oh, we got a piece of plastic, I think, in there still. Oh, I think I gotta see that. There we go. Take that out. Okay, any hairs? That's never a wanted thing. Okay, so now we're gonna need this. We gotta work fast after this point. We gotta encase that and encase that as well, right? So everything's parallel, but we need enough wood epoxy to deal with this. massive void. Okay, so you really knead it well. Use good finger pressure. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna, it's really well, I've been doing this really fast, so give myself a little bit more time here. Okay, so I'm gonna build this up a little bit. All my holes have been filled, so now I just have to recreate structure. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna put this inside here. I want to make sure that also is straight up and down. Okay, so I have to build this up a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna, I want to give it a little bit more because I want to squish that out. I'll make sure I get a good straight bond with it. Get rid of this. Okay. And I'm gonna squish that. Keep that in place there. Squish that up. Okay, so I'm making that square. I'm gonna make this square. Okay, so that's straight up. Okay, so now I'm gonna encase this. Thicken it down like that. I'm gonna push this down. Be very aware not to catch my threads. Okay, so I'm gonna take this out. Okay, I'm gonna encase this now. Okay, and I'm going to case this as well, pushing it against the wood itself. Push that, push that. And now I'm going to put this back in. Okay, I'm going to bring that up like this. Actually square it off. Okay. Okay, so that seems pretty nice and straight. This is our main biggest thing to deal with right now. We're going to let that harden up. Right now it's in perfect position. Right now. Okay, so that's exactly where we want to be. Okay, now we're going to make a little bit more and then we're going to make it look pretty. Okay, so I don't need a lot. Maybe over that much. Okay, so just knead up a little bit more. Alright, I didn't really need that. I'll put that back to while I'm at it. Okay, just need that. Okay, now we're going to take this, now without getting too close to the thread holes there, we're going to pack it in a little bit by a little bit. And just kind of get the top. Get all this restructured here. Okay. Looks a little bit shy here. Now, to ensure that I don't have too much packing in and on top of my threads, I'm just gonna, I'll take this one here, and just ensure, I'm just gonna screw it in. Okay, that's beautiful. I feel it nice. I'm gonna wait until it does hit the back, so I'm gonna back it off a little bit. Now I'm just going to do this. I still got some parcel on that, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to push down flat. Okay, pack it down a little bit. Push that down flat. Okay, push this down flat. Okay. Okay, so we got most of it all done. So when this hardens, I'm going to take this rasp, okay, and I'm going to make it nice and flat and reshape it, and you should be good to go after that. On a structural standpoint, this is so good. I'm just going to make sure that everything is working properly. Okay. And should be going until just there. Okay, that's beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, so this is a really good repair. I think this is going to be very, very structurally strong. Well, and I'm going to just leave this to dry and cure, and then I'll, as I mentioned, I'll use my rasp file and I'll make this all nice and square and look pretty, and it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't need to look pretty. You're never going to see this. So we made sure that everything was bonded. We got six holes that act as anchors, and yeah, it's going to be really structurally strong. This is nice and flat, right where it should be, and it should go right into place once it's all done. So stay tuned. All right, folks, we're just going to wrap things up here in the sense of getting this all filed down. Just make it all nice and flush here and flush there and flush down that, and of course the top as well. And to do that, I'm just going to start off by using a rasp to get it, because this is harder than wood itself. It's really hard. And we're just going to take it down till it gets really close to flush, which it almost is already. And we're just going to make sure that it all fits on with the chair nice, and the bolts can be put on nice and have a good hold and be nice and firm without the possibility of it failing on us. So yeah, I'm just going to start by going flush here. I'm using the coarsest side to start with. It was good to just double check to see how much you're taking off here. And you notice that I'm going back and forth, like oscillating slowly, but I'm still oscillating. I'm going back and forth just to ensure that I'm going nice and even and flat. Because I'll be able to tell when I start hitting the raw surface, and which I don't really want to do a lot of. And when I do, I'll switch over to the finer side to finish off. Okay, so I'm starting to get pretty close to flush there. Still have a little bit of meat on there, so I'm still gonna keep flat, but I'm gonna angle my pressure on the back side with my more or less the palm of my hand, but still keeping it flat and maintaining control. Okay, so it's getting pretty close down there. I'm just going to finish it off with the fine. that feels pretty good. Okay. Now I'm going to repeat it on this side. And now I'm just going to work on this surface here. Okay, getting pretty close to being flat here. And as you can see, we're nice and square, nice and flat. Turned out very well. And I'm just going to give this a little shaving on the top face. Now you notice when I'm filing, I'm actually filing into the woodwork, right? So I'm doing very little. If I go like this, I shouldn't at all, because I should be quite strong with my anchors and all that kind of stuff. But just for good practice, I always work into my work, right? So it minimizes damage and minimizes mistakes happening. And I'm just going to finish off with that. All right. So as I said, this doesn't have to be very pretty, because none of it's seen at all in the chair. And so I'm just going to show you what I mean. You bring the chair up. All right. Bring the chair up where you can all see it. So now this gets put in place like that. And then we're going to put the two screw bolts in. All right, so we're just gonna hand tighten it for the most part. I probably have a drill bit for this that does that Decepticon there, so yeah. And that's going in quite nicely. Giving us a little bit of problem because of that stripped end. Just get it over that hump here. Alright, just until it clears that. Okay, so now it's going in nice. Okay, so it's just starting to touch. Now I have a tension washer there as well as a normal washer, so that's good for it won't undo itself typically through vibration. Nice and snug. Alright. That's nice. Perfect. That's nice and strong. Okay. So yeah. It should be nice. And we'll make it. Yeah, see? Not even a wobble. Okay, so yeah, it's good repair. I think they're gonna be happy, and as I said, doing something like this, it just took me without the video and such, and setup and scenario, different scenarios like that. Yeah, I think it probably just took just over an hour. and I'll just charge the customer an hour. So yeah, I think they'll be very happy with the result, and I'm happy as well. Yeah, there you have it. All good. Cheers.